We want this available. Hi, my name is Scott Williams. I'm the Membership Director of the League of American Bicyclists, and I'm your host for tonight's webinar with Craig Dawson of Spoke Insurance and Sports Insurance Specialist. Craig has been a long-time supporter of the League and has been working with the League extensively as he's developed this insurance product, which is to insure you and your bicycle 24/7. I won't go too much into what's part of the Spoke program because that's what Craig is here for. Craig, we appreciate your support for bicycle advocacy, your interest in the needs of bicyclists, and we're really grateful to have you here with us tonight. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about the Spoke Insurance Program?
Okay, thanks, Scott. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to the League and the membership and affiliates. It's quite interesting that we talk about a new bicycle insurance program when effectively I started this crusade, so to say, 5 years ago. And Andy Clark of the League of American Bicyclists, I approached at Interbike and came up with an idea and mentioned to him, I'm going to be the first guy to put bicycle insurance to market here in the United States. And anyway, as of February 20th, 2012, that's when the first Spoke bicycle insurance policy was written. And over the course of the last 2 to 3 years, it's undergone some changes, organic growth, everything you could imagine. But anyway, once again, thanks. I hope everyone's enjoying their summer so far. And I'll get into who we are and what we're doing and hopefully what the future holds for everyone, for us. And anyway, so as you can see on the home page, hopefully everyone's looking at the same page. Spoke, the smart bicycle insurance, protect your passion is our tag phrase, so to speak. On here you see Marsh & McLennan Agencies, run by Scott Chapin out of Minneapolis, but a part of the bigger group. And you'll understand who he is after this webcast. Anyway, so on to the next screen. You should have in front of you screen 2, bicycle insurance briefly. So as mentioned earlier, bicycle insurance has been around the States only for a few years, since February 20th, 2012. Just above that, you'll see that bicycle insurance in itself has actually been around for quite a long time. Holland being the leader in offering this kind of coverage to individual cyclists. They've actually offered individual bicycle insurance for over 30 years in Holland under a company called ENRA. And you can also see the other countries, to name just a few, that are out there with their own bicycle insurance products. England, Ireland, Australia, South Africa, and even my home country of New Zealand. Like I say, February 20th, 2012, we started Spoke Bicycle Insurance. Our coverage options included, at that time, theft, damage, liability, uninsured motorist protection, med pay, and roadside assistance. The uninsured motorist protection in that coverage at that time, as pointed out by Bob Myonsky, bicycle attorney out of Portland, Oregon. When I spoke to him 4 or 5 years ago, he mentioned that was one of the single most important coverage that a bicycle policy could actually provide. So noticing the need for this coverage, Spoke approached the underwriters at the time and asked if we could provide uninsured motorist protection in there, and sure enough, they gave it to us, and off we went. So within the first 12 months of going to market, Spoke, I guess we started quite a conversation out here in the States, and 2 to 3 other insurance companies started offering bicycle insurance immediately. So it's always nice to be a marketplace starter, no doubt about that. But it's here for everyone. I don't mandate anyone chooses Spoke over anyone else. Everyone can make their own decisions, and it's a free market. So great stuff. Anyway, the insurance word, bicycle insurance, typically spread through the association groups like USA Cycling, USA Triathlon, International Mountain Bike Association, typical Google search, bicycle-specific editorials, and all that kind of thing. So out of the 35 to 40 million cyclists out there, a very small number actually know about bicycle insurance. To move forward to September 1st, 2014, after a couple of years in the marketplace, I realised that Spoke needed to be national, needed to go to all 50 states. And to do that, it required a national distribution outlet, and my new partners, Marsh and McLennan, out of New York, are effectively the front end of the program, representing and retailing and selling the bicycle insurance product. And obviously, something I've worked on for many years was to get the endorsement from the League of American Bicyclists. 5 years ago, I said to Andy Clark, a former director of the league, when I went national, I would seek the endorsement for the league, and we both held to each other's word, and here we are today. So that's a little bit of a brief background on bicycle insurance in America. Don't be confused, I am a New Zealander, I am an American citizen, and I do operate and live out here in California. So anyway, not to lead anyone astray. Okay, so the next page. Okay, so what I call the founding argument for Spoke. Cyclists share the same rules and responsibilities as other users of the road and deserve access to the same benefits and services. And I feel very strongly about that, being a cyclist myself. And the reason being is that, if you run a red light, you will get a ticket from a law enforcement officer in this town where I live, for sure. And you are held accountable for any actions on the roads. And unfortunately, we haven't had access to the same benefits or services. So part of the mantra for Spoke Bicycle Insurance is to really provide that same equal benefit that other users of the road, typically have, like cars, the trucks, autos, motorcycles, you name it. Okay. Who are we? Okay, so Spoke Bicycle Insurance is not one party, it is a combination of 4 to 5. And to start any kind of program like this in the States, obviously you need the insurance company in behind you. So the carrier behind Spoke Bicycle Insurance is Star Indemnity and Liability, part of the Star group of companies. They are based in New York City. They have provided us with an admitted marketplace 50-state program. The carrier itself is obviously AM Best A rated. Obviously, we would not go with anything less than an A rating from AM Best on this kind of program. We have a program administrator called Dovetail Insurance, which is a technology-based insurance MGA or administrator, to deliver policies electronically and provide reporting between retailer and insurance company. So our front end of the program is Marsh and McLennan companies, as I have mentioned before. Marsh has quite a footprint in the bicycle industry to this day, actually, and have many relationships across many different industries that ultimately will help us get and spread the word to the consumer. Our claims administrator, third-party claims administrators, Custard Insurance Adjusters, who currently manage over 270 claims offices across the USA and have provided us with a dedicated claims hotline for Spoke customers. So, yeah, no small feat, but it requires every part of the Spoke program. Each one of these companies has a very important role to play, and together they all come and pretty much put Spoke out there. And trust me, I'm very, very happy and very pleased to have such great partners in on this program. Okay, so not the greatest mug shot, but this is me at the National Bike Summit here back on March 20th, I think. I am the founder of Sports Insurance Solutions out here in California, a brokerage firm that targets all kinds of sports products. Back in the day, obviously a former triathlete. I was the first bicycle courier in my college town in New Zealand. Commuted to work and back many days and months when I lived in London, and recreational rider in many countries over the course of many years, whether it was riding bikes to the pyramids of Giza, whether I was out riding in the bushes of Africa. I was all over the place. I also have a partner in Spoke now, and Scott Chapin, who works for Marsh McLennan Agencies and is an avid cyclist out there in Wisconsin, a 21-year insurance industry veteran, a cross-country track athlete, as you see. Bicycle nut is probably an understatement. So hopefully at one point anyone on this call can get to talk to Scott. Trust me, he's got many cycling stories. He also created a bicycle shop insurance program for Marsh and McLennan, of which, as far as I know, is probably the premier bicycle shop insurance program in the country. He currently is, if I'm not wrong, currently insures well over 500 bike shops across the country. So Scott is pretty much in charge of the front end of Spoke through the Marsh McLennan Agency and Marsh McLennan Network. So at some point, I hope you'll get to meet Scott. Okay, mission statement. Yes, there it is. We're here to provide a direct line of coverage to cyclists by taking away the hurdles faced in securing primary insurance for riders and their bicycles. Pretty straightforward, really. A lot of issues out there with regard to grey area when it comes to bicycle insurance, and whether your homeowners, your auto insurance, your renter's insurance, your umbrella insurance, basically you have coverage for certain areas of all of those different kinds of policies. However, the claims experience can or cannot be, it's sometimes very challenging to work it out. And the idea is to provide, like I say, a direct line to real primary insurance for cyclists. So there's our mission statement. Here we go. Okay, so this is a visual of the what we cover and why. And I'll leave that up here for a couple of secs. But if you can see the orange header up there that has the Spoke, homeowners, renters, and autos. So this is a chart that kind of explains what is covered, what may or may not be covered, what's typical, what isn't. And I think it's a pretty good visual on what a dedicated insurance policy for a cyclist and their bike really covers. So like I mentioned earlier, your homeowners may cover you here and there for certain things, but there may be grey area in some parts of a claim. So as you can see, Spoke checks off a lot of the coverages, and once again, the combination of all the other policies you may have in your house may, or like I say, may not provide dedicated coverage to you as the cyclist. But I feel that's a good indication of kind of where we are and what we're trying to do out here at Spoke, as well as the other bicycle insurance carriers out in the marketplace right now as well. So theft away from home, theft from your home covered, right? Some homeowners insurance policies don't cover theft away from your home. Some may, like I say, some possible, I think 30% of them may, and the other 70% don't. Liability, motor vehicle contact protection, our equivalent of uninsured motorists, hit and run, medical payments, roadside assistance is an interesting area now, which there are 2 or 3 providers. But we'll get to that in a minute as we go through the rest of the presentation. Okay, so I'll move on to the next slide. Bicycles we cover. So, yeah, here we are. We have folding bikes, we have recumbents, we have cargo bikes, we have adult tricycles, mountain bikes, electric bikes, tandems, hand cycles. Basically, we cover every bicycle out there, and when I say every, that is a bicycle that falls within the legal laws of being called a bicycle. Now, with e-bikes out there challenging the limits of what really a bicycle is or is defined as, we stick with the federal regulation. I think it's HR 27 e-bikes under 750 watts. As long as you have pedals, we will cover you as a bicycle. Even though there are high-speed electric coming out now, and with the new laws out there that are obviously going to come through all the different states, we'll adjust our policy as we see fit. But for now, we cover pretty much everything that's out there. Yep, so off we go to basic policy. So for every Spoke Bicycle Insurance customer, this is what you get as a base policy. You get your damage, you get theft, you get worldwide damage, you get rental reimbursement, and you get our roadside assistance. And the minimum premium for any policy in all 50 states is $100 per year. So, and I believe that's industry standard out here in the States. I think every insurance carrier that's offering bicycle insurance has a $100 minimum premium. Okay, and we have optional coverage for liability, motor vehicle contact protection, our version of uninsured motorist protection, and medical payments. Okay, so yep, this has happened to quite a few people out there. I don't need to explain that very much, but this stuff happens, and under a Spoke policy, you are covered for bicycle damage. Now, I put the actual policy language on this slide to indicate exactly, where we stand on physical damage, and I think a lot of people don't realise that, a dedicated bicycle insurance policy it really does. It provides for physical damage of your bicycle. Now, a homeowner's policy, for example, it may provide for property damage. However, it's usually for total loss. So, if you're out to just damage a wheel, would you make a claim on your homeowners to cover that wheel replacement? Probably not. So, part of the reason why a primary insurance policy like Spoke is here is for this area to help cyclists, replace broken or damaged parts. Okay, so yeah, this guy hit his face the other day when I took this photo. No, actually, this is just a photo I pulled offline, but I think we all know exactly where I'm going with this. And there it is. Same for bicycle theft. We have on our policy, theft coverage. Our minimum deductible is $100. So if you have a homeowner's insurance policy, for example, when you make a theft claim, that deductible on your homeowners could be $500, could be $1,000, could be $1,500 or $2,500. So, once again, a dedicated policy for bicycles allows you to have a small deductible, a small out-of-pocket expense for, like I say, a primary insurance policy for your bicycle. And theft is out there if you're living in an urban area. I think everyone understands the risks that are at play throughout these urban areas in the States. So yes, we cover theft. And I like this picture actually because I think a lot of people don't think enough about this, and I still wonder how there aren't that many cases brought to court on cyclists and liability, but there have been a couple of cases in the last couple of years. I think this speaks for itself. Cyclists have to be aware of the general public, let alone anything else that's out there, and we provide liability insurance up to certain limits on our policy as well. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is optional coverage as well. This does not come as part of the base package. So let's move on. Yep, been in that situation a couple of times. There we are, medical payments for cyclists. Now, MedPay in a spoke policy, let alone the majority of insurance policies out there, are typically access to primary insurance, and ours is no different. So effectively, if your health insurance provider, for any reason, whether it's a policy through your work, for example, that does not cover any kind of medical expense regarding some extracurricular activity outside of doing work, or you don't have any kind of health insurance, even with the current Affordable Care Act requiring everyone to have health insurance, then we offer these limits up to $25,000 for the spoke bicycle insurance customer. Once again, an optional benefit to grabbing a spoke bicycle policy, but nonetheless still there for the uninsured cyclist that's out there. Which brings me on to uninsured drivers. Typically on your auto insurance or motorcycle policy, you'll have, and you should be taking an uninsured driver's coverage for sure. If you're a cyclist and you're a commuter and you don't own a car, if you live in New York City and you don't own a car, and you ride the roads of Park Avenue and Fifth Avenue, or the Brooklyn Bridge for all that matters, you are at risk potentially being hit or injured or damaged, your bike damaged by an uninsured driver. In some zip codes across the country, the rates of uninsured drivers are 1 in 6. And it's quite remarkable, but these things do happen. So just like auto insurance, we provide uninsured driver protection at optional limits from $10,000 and up to $25,000. Now, I suggest anyone who's living in real urban areas that doesn't own a car to, really look at this kind of coverage and really consider it. If you are a vehicle owner and you have auto insurance with good limits or high limits of uninsured or underinsured motorist protection, then you may be okay. You may not need this optional coverage. However, once again, I cannot speak for the claims maze that you may go through to make a claim against that uninsured motorist coverage on your vehicle or on your motorcycle. So anyway, Spoke has you covered. We've got it here if you want it. This is something that in the last few years, I know that I used to carry the Better World Club out of Oregon's roadside assistance program, and then AAA America started offering some coverage through about 7 or 8 states. I decided, you know what, I will build my own bicycle roadside assistance program. So as part of the Spoke program, I'm quite proud of this part of Spoke because it did take quite a while to get up and running and to initiate. So Spoke has its own roadside program available and it comes with every policy. So every Spoke customer gets this roadside assistance. Now, under our roadside assistance program, we have, like I say, 10,500 tow truck tow operations contracted with us. Each Spoke customer gets 3 50-mile pickups each year. I believe we are the only people in America that offer a free partner tow, and the thinking behind that was to effectively look at what cyclists are going through, and if 2 cyclists are out in the countryside 30 miles out of town, one's a Spoke customer, one breaks down, and the Spoke customer has roadside, what are we going to do? We're going to leave the other person out there? No. Unless they really want to ride back by themselves, they can. But they do have the option just to pick up a free tow with us as well. We'll take them back. Now, that partner tow and that Spoke roadside app, we can take you in that 50-mile limit to your home, or we can take it to the bike shop where you bought your bicycle, or if you need it repaired at a repair center, there we can take it there as well. Obviously, there's a lock bike reimbursement in the event that you forget your combination to your lock or lose your key. which happens. And, so for any reason, if we can't pick you up, then we'll do a $50 reimbursement to you after you manage to find your own way home, if that's the case, but typically not. We do pride ourselves in the fact that I think we do have the only bike-specific roadside app in the country, another first if you ask me. And the great part about it is that it's geo-tracking technology. So if you are on a bike path, we will know exactly where you are on the bike path. If you are 25 miles out into the countryside off one of the main roads, we will know which oak tree you are next to. We do pick up off the main routes. We do not go into the wilderness and start searching for riders that may be stranded 40 miles into the wilderness. But if you can get to the main roads, by all means, we will come in and we will pick you up. So that's bicycle roadside assistance by Spoke. I thought I'd throw in a couple of pictures here. It's just random that the colours match our colours for Spoke, but also that the next picture, which I think, yeah. So this picture was sent to me the other day by a friend of mine, and yeah, behind that is actually a bar. So the guy went to the bar and decided that was the safest way to lock his bike up. Anyway, yeah, classic photos out there. Why Spoke? Well, there it is. National program supported by some of the largest and most reputable insurance providers in USA. Financial strength, A for excellence, AM best, $2 billion in annual premium. Dedicated claims hotline just for Spoke customers, obviously. Our Spoke retail partner, Marsh McLennan, currently insuring over 500 bike shops across America, have a great presence in the industry and are building that presence every single day. So very fortunate to have those guys in. They offer a lot of expertise and a lot of credibility in the bicycle marketplace. So obviously first to market bicycle insurance program gives us, a claims experience, gives us more knowledge. It does give us, the ability to be flexible and change our program when we see fit. This will be a work in progress. I think any business that's in this industry, it's a work in progress. But we're doing the right things, and we've got some great partners. Lastly, but not leastly, we are a strategic partner to the League of American Bicyclists and their efforts to bring awareness to the many concerns that face the bicycling public. So, Scott, I believe that's our contact information here. I also can run through a quick quote online here just to show everyone if you like.
Sure, I do have some questions. Maybe what we can do is run through the questions that I have quickly, and then we can do the quick review of the sign-up process. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
So we've got a couple of questions about the theft coverage, and actually, before I get into those, I will mention that we have a question interface in your dashboard. If you're listening in and want to have a question answered, we'd like you to type it to us. If you don't see a dashboard to the right of your screen, look for a little tiny gray thing with a red arrow on it. Click the red arrow. That should expand and allow you to ask a question. Some of you have already found it, so I do have some questions. And as I was mentioning, some of them are about the theft coverage. And so can you go into that more, and what are the requirements to have the theft coverage kick in? How does that all work?
Yes, so theft from the home and away from the home. So if you take your bike traveling with you, by all means, we still cover you, all right? With regard to how you lock your bike, we don't require any specific kind of lock. I think best practices, if you're an avid cyclist, if you have a bike that you would cry about if you lost or it was stolen or damaged, I think with theft, best practices have to come into play for the cyclists. I think they have to use U-locks. I think they have to use chain locks where they can. Is it a requirement of Spoke bicycle insurance? No, it isn't. But best practices must come into play at some point for the individual cyclist. Now, we do realize that a lot of people do not lock their bicycles to immovable objects, which all insurance carriers ask you to do. Now, we ask you to do this as a best practice. Can we enforce it? Yes, no. This is the gray area for cyclists. So in our policy, we ask that you do lock it to an immovable object. We do ask that you take some responsibility and accountability for your actions. And if it's stolen from inside your garage, obviously you're okay. If it's stolen from inside your home, you're okay. If you leave it on a bike stand for more than 24 hours outside a train station, obviously that's an issue. And yeah, at the end of the day, we're here to protect our cyclists. This is a comprehensive policy. It requires that a little common sense does come into play here, but is it enforceable? Only by the language in our policy, which does say and state, please secure your bike to an immovable object. Now, the two pictures I showed earlier, one was of it looks like a woman's bicycle with a child's bicycle, and both had U-locks attached to them on an immovable object, that being a meter. The other photo had a guy with a cable lock over a road cone, effectively. So, that was to display common sense. I think at the end of the day, insurance companies want to show that, listen, we're here for you. Some common sense has to play in the marketplace as well. I hope that answered your question there, Scott.
Well, specifically, I mean, when it comes down to it, I assume if my bike is stolen, you're going to expect me to file a police report.
Yep, sorry. Yep, sure.
And if that police report says that I connected it to a traffic cone with a rubber band, are you going to say no, sorry, or how exactly does it work?
Well, no. If you have a bicycle, like say, we do accept cable locks as long as the bike was attached to an immovable object, right?
Okay, so police report and attached to a movable object.
Yep. And once again, if it's in a locked garage, you're fine. If it's in a locked home, you're fine. If it's in a locked car, you're fine. If it's on roof racks secured, you're fine there as well, right? So, yeah.
Okay. So we had a question that pointed out that if you've got with your automotive insurance and you're in a crash with another automobile, your auto insurance cost is going to go up. If one's auto insurance covered one when cycling and one had a cycling accident, would that cause one's auto insurance to go up?
Okay, so on our policy, if you use the spoke policy to cover an incident with you regarding an auto on the road, our bicycle insurance claims does not report that to your auto insurer. So your auto insurance wouldn't go up at all.
What about your spoke insurance?
Our spoke insurance wouldn't go up either.
Okay, so what if...
No, sorry, we don't have the same rating. We don't have the same rating experience as the auto insurer, so no, it doesn't.
Okay, and what if I didn't have spoke and I was in a bike crash and I reported it to my auto insurance in expectation of some coverage? Could my auto insurance go up if I were relying on my auto insurance?
Yes, I would imagine it would. If you made a claim against your auto insurance for a bicycle claim, I think some of the bike attorneys that are out there probably understand what would happen here. My belief is, yes, sure, you would be re-rated at your next renewal.
Okay, a lot of questions here. I will try to go through them quickly. Someone from Arizona is saying out there are a lot of motorized gas bicycles, which is under 49cc motors that have pedals, mopeds, I guess, small mopeds. Are those something that can be covered by spoke?
Yeah, no, we don't do any gas-powered bicycles at all. I believe there are moped insurance options for that. But not us. We don't cover anything gas-powered.
So here's a good one. This isn't a question. This is an exclamation. Blown away. I didn't realize there was such an animal as bicycle insurance. So that's good. We should show people how to sign up. But there's a lot of other questions. Let's go through quickly. Someone asking the minimum age be lowered from 18 to 15 years of age. Any hope of that?
Yeah, we kind of had a look at this there for a while, and the underwriters, like I say, this is the policy. The policy goes with the bike. So the purchaser of the policy is, for example, a parent, right? So if a parent has, say, 4 bicycles in the house and they insure all 4 bicycles, then even with a 16-year-old rider or 17-year-old rider on that bicycle, right, there's still insurance. Now, there is an 18 years of age limit with regard to purchasing an insurance policy, but members of the household are protected under spoke bicycle insurance. If there was an individual child out there at 16 years of age that just was running solo and decided he wanted to buy his own bicycle insurance policy, that wouldn't happen. But under a situation where a parent was buying the insurance, by all means.
It's a good answer. That's a good answer. I hope that's the answer that the questioner was looking for.
Yeah, so 16-year-old can get his mum and dad buy a policy for his bike.
Okay, someone wants us to show the contact info slide again. Maybe we can put that up while we are going through the rest of the questions, or make sure we get it back back later. Somebody else wants to know whether Spoke is currently hiring sales reps. You got some people excited today.
Oh, I wish I was, mate. I'd love to. We have an exclusive with Marsh & McLennan due to, obviously the distribution platform that we have, and unfortunately we don't open it up to any other brokers. Unfortunately, but no, sorry, we don't.
Okay. Someone asking about defining the 50-mile pickup. What does that 50-mile radius mean? Is it from the start point of...
Yeah, from the start point. So if you live 51 miles, right, from where you're disabled, your bicycle's disabled, then you might have to walk the other mile. No, I'm sure our provider would take you that extra mile, but if it was 60 miles, then we can only effectively take you the 50. So you could also, obviously, the provider will take you the extra 10 miles. However, there would be a charge for that last 10 miles. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
So how much of the country then is covered by this pickup service?
So it's in 50 states.
Okay.
It's in all 50 states.
But are there places that are too far from anywhere to get that pickup service?
Typically, no. I'm going to say, obviously, what we do is we effectively, our service center will locate a number of providers within the closest range from where that disablement is, where that cyclist is broken down, for example. And from there, we will literally call 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6 of the service providers closest to that individual and send one of them out there. So it will be a very rare event that we can't pick someone up.
Okay, and even if I'm on the road, I'm at a hotel somewhere, I'm on a riding vacation, yep. You'll take me back to my hotel.
Yeah, mate. Yep.
Okay, excellent. So, how do you establish the value of the bike? If I say my 20-year-old REI hybrid is worth $10,000.
Yeah, so obviously, new bikes obviously will honor replacement value within a 2-year period, so 24 months out within your bicycle purchase, off we go. For bikes that are valued literally over $3,000, that are more than 2 years old, then we require that you at least get some kind of valuation or appraisal from your local bike shop and present that. We'll obviously, at the time of claims, if there's a theft claim made to us, we will take that appraised value. We'll also back it up with a value from our team, and from there we'll make a decision on the bike. But some people customize their bikes all the time, and they add pieces here and there, and there's no real value on it. But we do ask that bikes that are over that 3,000 number to try and, if they're more than 2 years old, to produce at least the valuation of the bike by your local bike shop. The idea is we're trying to really partner with all the bike shops and get a real clear, system in place where, values of bikes, of which, there are a couple of companies out there now, one being the Bicycle Blue Book, where you could also value your bike as well. But, yeah, we're trying to, nail down just where used bike values are. I don't think there is right now in the marketplace a really defined valuation system for it. So we'll take your original receipts. Well, if you have any receipts at all with regard to any parts that you put or any customized pieces that you put together, just like I say, just if you can keep all those receipts together, that's a big help to us when we value.
All right, so we had another question, is does the coverage actually cover the person on any bike or just the particular bike? So I've insured, I've covered my $10,000 20-year-old REI hybrid, but I'm in downtown DC and I'm riding the bike share, and I have...
Yeah, it doesn't travel. Yeah, it doesn't travel with you. It stays with the bike. So, family members in your home, even if it's some, long lost wild uncle that's staying with you, he's covered on that bike. But the insurance is with the bike, so it doesn't travel with you when you go out and say you rent a bike, a city bike share. I guess they're not city bike anymore, are they? So, capital bike share. So, no, it doesn't.
Okay. Do you cover racing?
Yep, it's covered under personal use.
Okay. And is there a way that members of a bike club or a bike group could all purchase insurance together? Is there some discount for acting as a group?
Yeah, so we don't have a group rate, Scotty, obviously, but because it's individual insurance. Obviously, there's a 10% discount through the League of American Bicyclists, and in some cases, that 10% discount that you receive off the value of your bicycle insurance actually covers the membership to the League of American Bicyclists and some. So, hey, I'm here for advocacy. I'm here to support the League and its members and everything you guys are doing. I would simply say, if the economics of it make it easier for the rider to go and purchase a League of American Bicyclists membership and still get that discount, then it's obviously worthwhile. Group rates right now, we can't, we don't offer that.
Okay, we have some questions about here about people who own multiple bikes. They've got 3 bikes, they can only ride one at a time. Does the policy take that into account, or you just add up the value of all the bikes in determining a premium?
Yeah, that's right. So the insurance is not transferable from bicycle to bicycle. However, we do have multi-bike coverage, and the discount on the multi-bike coverage is 10% for the first bike, and then it calculates at 15% for the third bike on top of that. So there are discounts for multi-bikes on our policy, and you'll see the multi-bike ad when you go through the application for the first bicycle and you go into the checkout area. So there was a little confusion over people wondering if we could do multiple bikes, but it is actually in the checkout area of the application online.
Okay. Another question, expanding on some of your answers previously about everyone in the family being covered. I see a lot of people out today, they've got their kids in a bike trailer or on a trailer bike, taking them to school or to activities or just riding together. How does the Spoke Insurance cover those trailers or add-ons that you might have younger family members on? Will they have medical coverage? Will the equipment be covered?
Yeah, so effectively, some trailers could be regarded as an accessory, right? And you just add the accessory into the accessory area on the application. Now, accessory meaning that, right? Where cargo bikes now, as they call them, the SUV of bicycles, people are out there riding their kids around. You're still covered under our policy. Now, if you're using a cargo bike with a trailer for commercial purposes, that's where our insurance falls off. We do not cover any commercial operation on bicycles with us. That would be bicycle couriers, of which I used to be one back in New Zealand back in the day. Bicycle couriers, pizza runners, you name it. We do not cover any kind of commercial activity on the bikes.
Okay. And in terms of turnaround time on claims, how long does it take for a damaged bike claim or a theft claim to when can I buy that new bike?
Yeah, so we do require a police report. Now, some police stations would, give you a report on the spot. Some may take a few days to put together an explanation of what happened. You can call our claims hotline straight away. The claim will be processed immediately. Now, obviously, claims processors work in a way where if the party that's filing the claim gets all the relevant material to the claims provider, our claim system quickly, then obviously your claim will be resolved a lot sooner than later. Now, all I can say is, we're looking at a claims period of within 48 hours to 72 hours. So, I would love to say it would be done within an hour or two, but it's just not going to happen that way. So we believe we have a pretty slick claims operation, and that's the whole reason behind having a dedicated claims team in on the Spoke program.
Does that claims team have bike experience? I mean, are they bikers? How are they connected to biking? Are they on our side?
Oh, they're on your side. Yep, they are on your side. I will have to say this: they are claims experts. Cyclists individually. You listen. I think when it comes to claims, it's more about the team and the process. So, if I'm a homeowner and I file a claim about a stolen camera, I don't expect the claims representative to be an expert in photography, but I do expect that they have a great system in place, and claims can obviously be handled quickly and efficiently. So, custard insurance adjusters, who are our national TPA, third-party administrator, these guys, like I say, are experts in the claims industry. Now, remember, they're a third-party administrator, so they have a mandate to resolve claims. And with the insurance carrier being one side, the broker being the other side, you need to have these third-party administrators that know what they're doing. So, yes, I'll stand by our claims team by all means.
Okay, terrific. So somebody just had a question about the liability portion of this, and isn't that just covered by their homeowner's insurance policy?
Yes, like some of your other coverages, you may have double coverage. However, working through the insurance maze to make that claim, if you do have a homeowner's policy and you do file a claim, a liability exposure pops up, then sure, you will have a claim against your homeowner's insurance policy, and you will be re-rated at your next renewal. Once again, it's about having dedicated insurance and primary coverage for you and your bicycle riding. So if you're an avid cyclist, if you're a commuter, and you don't own a car, then, or for that matter, you have very limited renter's insurance, then I suggest taking a policy through Spoke.
Great. So the contact information is there on the screen right now. There's still a handful of questions that we've gotten to, some of which we haven't gotten to, some of which are pretty detailed. And I would urge you to just take that down and contact info or DAWS directly on some of those questions if we don't get back to them. I do want to switch back over and let DAWS show the application process, which will allow you to get quotes and some additional information, I think, that will answer some of the outstanding questions. So we'll go ahead and do this, and if we have a few minutes at the end, we might take a few more questions. If not, you can reach out directly to me, or you can reach out to Dawes and have additional questions answered. So we're gonna run through the sign up process right now. It's a lovely winged wheel you have on your web page there, Dawes.
Yeah, mate. No, yep. Very proud to have it there too, to be honest with you, mate. Okay, so I'm just going to. We have about 4 different bands of pricing for all bicycle insurance across the country. So if you live in, if you're fortunate enough to live in, let's just do this. So here's a $2,500 bicycle, and I'm going to go up to Alaska first on the list, right? Put on my email address, generate a custom quote. So if you're in Alaska, a $2,500 bike to insure for theft, damage, worldwide damage, rental reimbursement, and roadside assistance is about $147 a year. If you're in, what else have we got here? Let's go Arkansas. I think there's another different band. That 147 will turn to, let's have a look, 186. Now, if you're in California, where there are a lot of people, a lot of accidents, a lot of theft, that is going to go up. I will guarantee it. So that will go to 205. So there's a $50 difference between living in Alaska and living in California, and it's probably because of the amount of people. So I'm not going to go through the entire laundry list here of information that we require. This is going to be broken up in the next week or so the process is a little easier for people to get through. You have deductibles up to $500 here with us. You have options for liability. As you can see, if I add $25,000, you'll see the difference in the price point on the right in the orange wheel. You can add, like I say, change it with a deductible, whatever you want to do. Medical payments, say $1,000 doesn't add $20 to it for $1,000 worth of medical payments. After $25,000, that's basically health insurance. That's $200 a year for health insurance for you and your bike while riding your bike. So in the vehicle contact protection, $10,000 worth of coverage. That was a $50 change on there. Yep. So for, like I say, a bicycle commuter, if you don't have a car, this stuff is worth looking at. Now, once again, let's just throw that back on there, for example, and then we'll throw in the league membership, for example. Okay, so there's a discount there. There was a $30 discount. I think the minimum membership for the league is $30, right, Scott?
$40 for individual membership. If you're a student or youth, $25.
Yeah, right. So there you go. So yeah, you make on this. And then some required stuff in here. You can add accessories. Say if I had $300 worth of accessories on here, there should be adjustment on the price point there. There it is. So it was $20 for $300 worth of accessories. So pretty much, the application, like I said, a little bit of a laundry list there, but I believe it's all the information that anyone would want to take with regard to insuring any kind of article that someone might have, let alone a bicycle. So the process is pretty easy. You can add another bike or 2 or 3 or 4 after you get to the checkout spot. We'll move that forward in the process to show people where it's at. The website's pretty straightforward, really. Yep. Each page here has, whether it's e-bike insurance, an explanation of what we have and where we go. I think Bob Myansky will like this one, maybe not. But let's have a look at, I think we put them on commuter bicycle. We have a few people that endorse us. There's Bob there. I think we have Bob Walton, Bill Walton, sorry, is one. Bob. We have Aaron Gwynn, who's the world downhill champion. All sorts of things. But like I say, it's a work in progress, and there's a lot of good stuff happening with Spoke. I'm proud of our achievements out here for sure. It's been an interesting ride, so to say, the last 4 to 5 years. Having the league on board and us and Spoke supporting the league too is, yeah, I'm really happy to be working with the league, and the best is yet to come for Spoke, because we have a massive platform that will be coming out here within the next few weeks. So, and we will also be at the Interbike Trade Show. We have been for 4 years in a row now, and yeah, we'll see. Yep, it's all great stuff.
Terrific, Dawes. Thank you very much for that. Why don't you put your contact information up again just as we close out, because I know we have a few people who will probably be in contact with you with some more specific questions, things that we didn't get to this evening. We're closing in on the end of the hour. I thank you so very much for presenting. I thank everybody for their interest and their questions. And we are going to have a recording of this last hour available on the league website within a day or two, assuming the technology treated us right. The button says it's recording, but we'll see what happens when push comes to shove. A couple of people, Dawes, asked me if we will make this PowerPoint presentation available. Can I have a copy of this to share with folks?
Yeah, sure, mate. Oh, no problem at all. Yep.
Okay, we'll have that up whether or not we have the recording available. Dawes, thank you so very much for your support of the league and for your looking out for cyclists in this way. Thanks again for everybody tuning in with your questions and thinking hard about this. I appreciate it. Any final thoughts before we sign off, Dawes?
You know what? I'm, like I say, once again, it was a surprise to me to find that bicycle insurance wasn't available in America up until 2012. I'm not, depending on who you are and how you view bicycle insurance, listen, if you need it, get it. If you don't need it, that's okay. You may have coverage with it through your homeowners or auto or motorcycle insurance or renter's insurance. However, having a dedicated policy speaks for itself. I think, supporting the League of American Bicyclists, they're out there doing a great thing for all cyclists. And as we grow, we'll be able to support the league a lot more in the future. And listen, the roads are relatively safe out there, believe it or not. But at the same time, there are still issues out there, and by having a policy like Spoke, it's there to help you. That's what it's all about. It's there to help you out. So, Scott, I really appreciate this time. I really appreciate that people have hung in there and listened to my I'm probably sick of my accent by now, but I will be at Interbike Trade Show. That's my personal email on there. You can even Google Sports Insurance Solutions and get me out here too. So, I've been talking bicycle insurance for nearly 5 years now, and I have time for pretty much everyone, every question they have. So, from me and my partners, we just want to thank you all for giving us the opportunity, and safe riding out there.